Everybody has an opinion. We'll hear what Flash Flanagan and Ricky Cruz think today on SICW Wrestling Explosion. Hello, I'm Larry Matisick. The signing of Ron Powers to challenge Iron Man Ken Casa for the Classic Wrestling Championship Saturday, November 16th in East Carondelet irritated a few stars. Ricky and Flash certainly have something to say. Also, Gary Jackson squares off with Dave Vaughn today. The classic memory is a duel between Greg Valentine and Kerry Von Erich. But first, let's talk with Flash Flanagan. I'm here with Flash Flanagan, and Flash Flanagan during the year 2013 has lived up to what was a big reputation. When you came to SICW, everybody said you were going to make us all take notice, and that's exactly what you've done, Flash. How much better can you make it?
Well, I am your uncrowned champion. I said I was going to come in here and beat up Ricky Cruz, and I beat up Ricky Cruz. I won the championship, and then that Herb Simmons, he comes out there, and they reverse the decision and give him his title back. Now, how much more bull is that? Then I go out there and I see Ken Casa. He gets the heavyweight title shot. He wins the title, and I still don't get a title shot. Then next thing I know, Ron Powers. Ron Powers, of all people, is getting a title shot. Who has he beat? Huh?
He's a former Classic Wrestling champion. There's no question about that now, Flash.
Oh, well, my first match with him, Ron, who won? I defeated Ron Powers, I defeated Ricky Cruz, and I've still got no title shots.
I guess if anything, I would point this out to you. In a recent tag team match, Ron Powers pinned the Classic Wrestling champion Ken Casa, who was your tag team partner, and that's why he has the title shot on November the 16th.
Look, me and Travis Cook had an agreement. I would team with him and take care of business, and I can't help it that Ken Casa can't hold up his end of the bargain, and he went out there and got beat. That's not my problem. My problem is with this whole company. Herb Simmons, you want to run this company, you can't even run this stinking town. I want my title shot. I don't care who I've got to go through, because this is a bunch of bull that shouldn't be going on to begin with.
Are we to the point now, really, and I guess this has always been this way when you came in, you're kind of a lone wolf. I thought for a while that you and Ron Powers might make a really good tag team. There was some real chemistry there. You guys beat Butch Reed and Cowboy Bob Orton. It looked like it would fit together. What went wrong?
What went wrong? It's obvious Ron Powers can't take direction and doesn't listen to anybody. He does what he wants to do. If he would just listen to me to begin with, we would have no problems. He listened to me when we took care of Butch Reed and Bob Orton. We won that, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Exactly. Now he won't listen to me, and things are going to go real bad for you, Ron. Things are going to go real bad for you real quick.
In other words, you're putting whoever wins this title match between Casa and Powers, you think you should be the next challenger. But what about Ricky Cruz? He is the former Classic champion. He got one rematch. There was a disqualification in there. It ended up with you running into the ring and attacking Cruz.
The line starts behind me. I don't care about Ricky Cruz or anyone else. If you want to be the champion, you get behind me.
And you don't care who else is in that line? You don't care if there's a Jake Durden in that line? You don't care if there's other people like him in that line?
Larry, I don't even care if it's you.
Well, it's not going to be me. But Herb Simmons is the guy you're going to have to talk to because he is the promoter for SICW, and he's proven that he's pretty smart about how he books these matches.
Yeah, smart. Let me tell you something about smart. Right here's all I need.
All that's going to lead to some disqualifications, and you know you're going to have to somehow hold it in, Flash. It's going to be tough because you know now Cruz is not easy to push out. Powers is not easy to push out. Casa, especially with Cook in his corner with Travis there, now that he's not too happy with you, that's going to be tough.
Larry, like I said, it's going to come down to me and Ron Powers eventually, and I'm going to take that title from whoever has it.
Flash Flanagan, you can see why. He is a lone wolf in SICW. Once more, the exciting 2013 season proved that the Gateway Grizzlies are an important part of the St. Louis and Metro East sports scene. Every game is fun for fans of all ages. Hustling and hard-hitting, the Grizzlies always provide plenty of bang for the buck. In addition, the GCS ballpark is the perfect place to enjoy baseball. The organization, the facility, part of our community. Baseball is America's game, and the Gateway Grizzlies do it right. Keep in touch with new developments. Go to gatewaygrizzlies.com.
Unique and affordable gifts and collectibles on the internet are available at the Black Bear Haversack Trading Post. Go to blackbearhaversack.com. semi-precious stones, bone horn and soapstone items, abalone shells, genuine coyote and water buffalo teeth pendants, products for Civil War, medieval, and Renaissance reenactments, and so much more. For a 10% discount, mention SICW number 7 when you place your order. It's blackbearhaversack.com for top quality at reduced prices.
Don't you feel better about life now in general? The Big Texan and Dave Vaughn share a hug before Dave Vaughn squares off with Night Train Gary Jackson. Of course, you notice that in place of Travis Cook, it is the Big Texan at ringside by the request of Dave Vaughn. Travis Cook still out of action after that guitar shot to the head from the Honky Tonk Man back in October. Got kicked off by Dave Vaughn. You recall, a couple weeks ago they went to a 10-minute time limit draw. Both men wanted more time. Well, now they've been given more time. One fall 20-minute time limit. This is the return match between Mr. Unpredictable, Dave Vaughn, and Night Train Gary Jackson. Two more people who are certainly at the top of the list for getting a crack at the Classic Wrestling Championship. Dave Vaughn was apparently trying to pull the hair there, which he may be unpredictable, but sometimes I don't know if he quite catches all the things that are going on around him. And Big Texan saying, you can't pull it. There's nothing there to pull. Okay. Now, the Big Texan at ringside, and I think he likes being there because there is so much heat. There is so much trouble between Gary Jackson and the Big Texan. You know, they've butted heads many times over the past couple of years here in SICW, and it's all led to this, where on November the 16th at the East Carondelet Community Center, they will be tangling in a career versus mask match. Of course, what it came down to was Gary Jackson wanted to have a position where, much as it was done in St. Louis for many years, and of course promoter Herb Simmons understood this, if a man with a mask was defeated, pinned or submission, he took off the mask and revealed his identity. As you watch Jackson duck and then catch, sunset flip. Nice move by Gary Jackson. He can't hold him for a pin, and Vaughn escapes. Let's go back and make sure we understand this. For many years in St. Louis wrestling, under promoter Sam Muchnick, a masked man lost, he took off the mask, revealed his identity. Just one time, that's all it took. Well, that kind of slipped to the wayside over the years, and it's nobody's fault, really. Well, Gary Jackson, after all the trouble he's had with the Big Texan, he wanted a chance to get that mask, and he brought that up to promoter Herb Simmons. And Herb said, you're right. We honor the tradition of St. Louis wrestling. That's fine with me, except the Texan wouldn't do it unless Gary Jackson agreed to retire if he lost. He says, you've been around too long. Yeah, you've been on top, but you know what? I'm going to knock you off the pedestal. So that's what led to it all. November 16th at the East Carondelet Community Center, Jackson and Texan, career versus mask. I don't think Gary wants to hang him up just yet, but he wants that mask. We'll see who gets the better of it. Career versus mask, Jackson versus Texan, November 16th. And that's certainly a good supporting match, a good match to put on that card with the championship battle between Iron Man Ken Costa, the Classic Wrestling Champion and Challenger, and Farmer Champion Ron Powers. Ron Powers, who pinned Costa after a pile driver in a recent tag match. And now, November the 16th, Powers gets one more chance to regain the crown. Travis Cook will be back. He's recovering nicely from the concussion problems he had after that guitar shot from Honky Tonk Man. I don't know. We shall see. That could be a wild and woolly night, November the 16th. And once again, I wouldn't be surprised if the East Carondelet Community Center looks like this. Packed from stem to stern, a sellout capacity crowd to see all the action with SICW Wrestling Explosion. Dave Vaughn yells out wrestling. It looked like a kick to the gut to me. Dave Vaughn, the kick to the stomach of Gary Jackson. And now he strangles Gary over that second rope. Pushes him down. The referee, chases Vaughn back, but that allows the Big Texan to take advantage of Gary Jackson, something, the Big Texan wants to do so bad. Anything he can do to help himself for that November 16th showdown with Gary Jackson, that's important. And Vaughn wants to finish Jackson off here. It could be a rough couple weeks for Gary Jackson, somebody who's had the fans, their respect, their loyalty for a lot of years. Gary came along, I guess in the late 1980s was when we came across him. King Kong Brody and I and Herb Simmons. And I can remember still, we were in a card in Taylorville, Illinois. And King Kong Brody saw that young Gary Jackson in the ring. He said, boy, he reminds me of that great defensive back, Night Train Dick Lane for the Detroit Lions. That's, of course, where King Kong Brody grew up. So he says, let's ask him if he'd like to have that nickname. Gary Jackson was just a kid, man. He was just in the ring for the first time. And he says, King Kong Brody wants to give me a nickname? Hence the nickname, Night Train Gary Jackson. And somehow, along with Gorgeous Gary Jackson and many other nicknames, it's lasted all that time. Vaughn scraping the face of Gary Jackson across the top rope there. Could all that be coming to an end for Gary Jackson if he doesn't beat the Big Texan November 16th? Oh, that's scary. Drop kick. Drop kick by Vaughn. He covers. Referee Jay King gets a count of 2, and Gary Jackson kicks out. Gary having a little trouble getting going here against Vaughn. Vaughn's had the upper hand for the first few minutes of the match, and now he squeezes the head of Gary Jackson. Dave Vaughn, Mr. Unpredictable. A lot of talent there, and you sometimes wonder if he's reached his full potential or not. Or maybe it's the fact that he kind of goes off the deep end every now and then that he's hindering getting to that potential. Time will tell for Dave Vaughn, and maybe it'll tell today, because if Gary Jackson can knock him off, that would certainly give Gary a lot of momentum going into that November 16th battle against the Big Texan. And of course, you talk about momentum. You talk about people that are angry. You heard what Flash Flanagan said. Well, a little later, we're going to hear from Ricky Cruz, and he has his opinion on that title match between Ken Casa and Ron Powers on November the 16th. Ooh, lots of things going on November 16th. And everybody has an agenda. Everybody has a reason. Everybody has an argument. And they all want to crack at the crown. Maybe it'll come from something that happens between Jackson and Texan. Who knows? And maybe it'll happen after something comes in that tag match that will be taking part on November the 16th, when Ricky Cruz and Flash Flanagan are on opposite sides of the ring November 16th. Ricky Cruz wants to take a young man under his wing and see if he can help him get a little bit better. Ricky loves to train young talent, and he's going to be working with Daniel Eads. Of course, as you watch, a miss through there of a charge for the spear, and then Gary Jackson going to town. Here comes Night Train Gary Jackson on Dave Vaughn. And of course, the partner, we might add a Flash Flanagan for that match, 410-pound Bull Bronson. Bronson and Flanagan against Eads and Cruz, November 16th. Sounds like a good night of action, doesn't it? One you want to be on hand for. Reverse whip. Vaughn, he was waiting for the backflip, and Gary caught him with the reverse neck breaker. Nice move by Gary. Here we go, yells Gary as he winds up that elbow. He took a little bit too long. Vaughn rolled away. Vaughn can be pretty tricky when he gets going, when he has his mind right. He begins fighting back against Gary Jackson, pounding him into the corner. A couple of punches, but Gary turns Vaughn around. A left jab, a right hook. Whip reversed. Gary into the corner, and then, Vaughn came charging in. I don't think he realized what he's doing. He actually caught the back of Gary Jackson's skull in his own head. Jay King, check what's in the mask of something in the mask of the Big Texan, and he headbutts Gary Jackson. Did he load that mask up with something? And Gary Jackson is covered and pinned by Dave Vaughn after Big Texan knocks Gary Jackson cold with a headbutt. Oh my, the referee didn't see it. He saw that Vaughn was down because Vaughn caught the skull, actually, of Gary Jackson in his own forehead. So sure, there was some concern that Vaughn was injured, and it opened the door for Big Texan to jump right up in there, and he landed a headbutt that knocked out Gary Jackson. Oh, tough day for Gary Jackson thanks to the Big Texan. The Classic Wrestling title is up for grabs Saturday, November 16th at the East Carondelet Community Center. Iron Man Ken Casa defends the crown against former champion Ron Powers. Casa opposes Powers November 16th in East Carondelet, and Travis Cook is back. Gary Jackson tackles the Big Texan, Career versus the Mask, plus Ricky Cruz, Flash Flanagan, and much more. For tickets, call 286-4848, 286-4848. That's Iron Man Casa against Ron Powers, Saturday, November 16th in East Carondelet.
For the best deal on pre-owned cars and trucks, check out King Auto Sales in Cahokia, Illinois. Buy here, pay here. It doesn't get easier than that. Easy terms and financing on the spot for the best deals on all makes and models of pre-owned cars and trucks. You can't beat King Auto Sales, 2915 Camp Jackson Road, Cahokia, Illinois. That's King Auto Sales in Cahokia, where the customer comes first. Phone 337-7050.
With me is the Farmer Classic Wrestling Champion, Ricky Cruz. And I know, Ricky, what I just said probably stings a little bit because I said Farmer Classic Champion. I know you wouldn't be the Farmer Classic Champion, certainly in your mind, if you hadn't had to wrestle 2 matches in one night.
It's just ridiculous. I got to be honest with you, it does sting. I think there's a lot of politics involved, you know. Everyone that is a contender right now for the belt, I beat already once or twice. I heard that Ron Powers is getting a title belt. I beat him, and I beat him again after, you know, he wanted his rematch. It was a DQ. Who cares? A win is a win. Ron, you've been a veteran in this. I respect you like no other in this locker room, but you know that a win is a win no matter what.
Well, you know, of course, the reason he has that title match goes back to the tag team match on the last card at East Carondelet, where he pinned the Classic Wrestling Champion, Ken Casa.
We agree. He pinned Ken Casa.
And he was your partner.
Why he pinned Ken Casa? Because I took care of Flash. Because if I wouldn't take Flash out of the picture, he wouldn't have that opportunity right now. This is what I'm telling you. It's just politics. I took care of both guys. He gets in. He gets the 3 count, and he gets the title belt, the title chance. That's not fair. That's not.
And I understand what you're saying, and I would assume you've taken your concerns to promoter Herb Simmons and made it clear to him, and I sense a little dishappiness there, a little dissatisfaction.
I am not going to tell you that I'm, you know, not happy with him. He's doing the best he can, but it's time to listen to the people, and the people want me with the belt. I put that belt on the map more than he did. Ron was a great champion. But when I took that belt, not only I defended it here every show, but I went to Puerto Rico, I went to Panama, I went to other parts of the states and put the SICW name all around. And I think that's why I deserve, alone, just for that reason, I deserve another chance, another crack at the champion.
Of course, it all comes down to earning that. That puts you right back in that same boat with people like everyone from Flanagan and Powers or Casa if he loses on November 16th at East Carondelet to the Big Texan. Maybe Dave Vaughn's involved in there. What about Jake Durden? You have all these people. It's suddenly becoming kind of a mess. It looks like you're stuck in the middle of it. And
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
From all those guys that you just mentioned, who has got a win over the current champion?
Good point. Good point.
Because I did.
That is correct.
A couple of weeks ago, I beat him. It was a DQ. Again, doesn't matter how, I got a win over him. The only 2 people that has beat the champion right now, it's Ron, because I helped him, and me in the middle of the ring. So I think that the right choice will be me. But Ron has a chance, that's fine. I'll get him after he gets the belt, if he gets it, and if not, I'll beat Casa again.
One other thing that came up during your title reign, and we've talked about this, certainly at the start, the fans were just so much behind you. Do you feel that some people maybe don't have that same passion for Ricky Cruz? Do you think that's changed into some? And I don't mean that in a negative way, because sometimes champions just get booed.
You know what? I don't think the people are happy or not happy with me. They just want new faces. They just want new contenders, and I'm willing to wrestle whoever you guys bring. But tell Herb to bring new talent, and I'll face him in the ring. I'm pretty sure Ron will do the same. We're here to prove that we're the best. I think, in my mind, I don't like Ron Powers, but in my mind, me and him should be fighting for that belt right now.
And there's, of course, Flash Flanagan right there complaining too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a crybaby. He's always crying, oh, I win the match. I was disqualified. This happened, that happened. My dog gets sick. I don't care about Flash Flanagan. I've wrestled Flash Flanagan all over the world, and I've beaten all over the world. Me and Ron should be fighting for that belt. I don't care if Casa has it. We deserve a chance to prove who's the best between him and me.
Now you know why November 16th is going to be one heck of a night at the East Carondelet Community Center. The Classic Wrestling title is up for grabs Saturday, November 16th at the East Carondelet Community Center. Ironman Ken Casa defends the crown against former champion Ron Powers. Casa opposes Powers November 16th in East Carondelet, and Travis Cook is back. Gary Jackson tackles the Big Texan Career versus the Mask, plus Ricky Cruz, Flash Flanagan, and much more. For tickets, call 286-4848, 286-4848. That's Ironman Casa against Ron Powers, Saturday, November 16th in East Carondelet. For music and fun, the place to party is Pop's nightclub and concert venue in Sauget. From Bruno Mars of the first U.S. tour of Nickelback to Flogging Molly or the Insane Clown Posse, 30 years of memories pack Pop's concert venue, with more made at every new show. And there's a party at Pop's nightclub every night, a melting pot of friends enjoy the best in dance, rock, pop, and top 40 music until 5:30 a.m. Plus add a full game room. Check out all the action at popsrocks.com. Then and now, the place to party is Pop's in Sauget.
Let Custom Truck Upholstery give your vehicle a facelift. Visit us on 707 North 20th Street in East St. Louis, Illinois. Custom Truck Upholstery merges old world craftsmanship and attention to detail with the latest in modern technology to make your car, truck, boat, or motorcycle look like new. Call Custom Truck Upholstery at 618-875-9850.
Jaw of Kerry Von Erich. Kerry's running into some early trouble.
For years, there was a bitter feud between Valentine and Von Erich. First, in the 1960s, it was the fathers butting heads, Johnny Valentine and Fritz Von Erich. On Wrestling at the Chase, October 18th, 1981, it was the sons who tangled, Greg Valentine and Kerry Von Erich.
Valentine back. Well, you know there were none tougher than Johnny Valentine, and Greg has earned a reputation for being every bit as tough as Johnny was.
5 minutes have passed, 15 minutes left.
Greg Valentine yanks Kerry Von Erich into the middle of the ring and then drops his full body weight into the thigh. Of course, whenever you think of Valentine, you think of the Brain Buster, the first man to use the elbow successfully, and Greg follows in those footsteps. But Greg is also proficient with the figure 4 leg lock, so keep that in mind. Kerry knows he's in a war. He fights back against Valentine and knocks Valentine to the ropes. A kick to the stomach by Kerry Von Erich. Flying mare by Kerry. To the air. Oh, the elbow drop misses. The elbow drop misses as Greg Valentine rolled away. Valentine grabs Kerry and pitches him right through the ropes and out of the ring, down to the cement floor. Greg Valentine going out of the apron. Myers warns Valentine to come back, but instead Valentine goes out after Kerry. He grabs Kerry by the hair. Look out! If we're still on the air out here, Kerry Von Erich has been viciously slammed into the press table twice by Greg Valentine, and Kerry is hurting outside the ring. Valentine really just slammed him into that table. He crushed one of the glass cups here, and I don't know that Kerry could possibly even be bleeding after hitting that cup. He hit the bell once. And Greg Valentine showing a real killer streak. He grabs Kerry Von Erich, pulls him up to the apron, bends him backward over the rope, and slams that forearm right into the chest of Kerry Von Erich. A vicious assault by Greg Valentine on Kerry Von Erich outside the ring, and now Von Erich trapped along the apron. Sonny Myers knocked down by Greg Valentine. Von Erich knocks Valentine back, and now Kerry Von Erich tears into Greg Valentine. This crowd going berserk. It's Kerry Von Erich ripping into Greg Valentine. The arm whip to the ropes. Oh, Valentine nailed Von Erich with an elbow smash, the Brain Buster right to the head. Von Erich down and stunned. Valentine grabs Von Erich, pitches him out again. Greg Valentine, a man possessed, going back out after Kerry Von Erich. He grabs Von Erich from behind, hoists him to the air. Where is he going? Atomic knee drop. The atomic knee drop by Valentine. He lines him up for the Brain Buster. The Brain Buster outside the ring on Kerry Von Erich. Myers going out to get Myers shoved away again by Greg Valentine. The Brain Buster misses. The Brain Buster misses, and Valentine hit the cement floor. Von Erich pounding on Valentine, battling outside the ring. Myers trying against the canvas wall. It's a Donnybrook between Kerry, Von Erich, and Greg Valentine. The referees, Myers, grabbing Valentine, dragging him bodily out of the ring. The guard helping to keep Kerry, Von Erich, and Greg Valentine apart. Sonny Myers, Sonny Myers, you heard it from the referee, disqualifying Von Erich and Valentine. Warren trying to keep Von Erich back. And there goes Sonny Myers to make sure they don't get in it again outside the ring. Well, I have to tell you, the building, the studio has been wrecked by Greg Valentine and Kerry Von Erich. Ollie Hofstetter trying to repair the damage. But you heard the verdicts from the referee. Both men have been disqualified. Kerry Von Erich and Greg Valentine. Well, Valentine showed us something. He's tough, and he likes a Donnybrook, but Kerry Von Erich met him head on.
From the World Series champion Tigers in '45 to the Gateway Grizzlies to the '03 State Tournament Belleville East Lancers. A tradition in baseball and an even longer tradition in fine furniture and service. Miller Furniture, 1004 East Main in Belleville.
The Classic Wrestling title is up for grabs Saturday, November 16th at the East Carondelet Community Center. Ironman Ken Casa defends the crown against former champion Ron Powers. Casa opposes Powers November 16th in East Carondelet, and Travis Cook is back. Gary Jackson tackles the Big Texan Career versus the Mask, plus Ricky Cruz, Flash Flanagan, and much more. For tickets, call 286-4848, 286-4848. That's Ironman Casa against Ron Powers, Saturday, November 16th in East Carondelet. The point is clear, isn't it? Potential challengers like Ricky Cruz and Flash Flanagan certainly will be watching when Ironman Ken Casa defends the Classic title against Ron Powers November 16th in East Carondelet. And after the Big Texan KO'd Gary Jackson with that headbutt, is it any wonder that Jackson and Texan have their share of issues to decide November 16th? If Texan wins, Jackson retires. If Jackson wins, Texan unmasks. Guaranteed, just like the excitement on SICW Wrestling Explosion.